guys.
So, Elias, how do you feel that the study of philosophy has helped you in other areas of your life?
I feel like philosophy has really helped me. Before taking the class, I wasn't really an out-of-the-box thinker like that. I was more directional. My logical reasoning wasn't that well. So taking this course, especially one of my major, medical ethics, I really opened my eyes to a lot of things and it's taught me that it's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to be different. It's okay to look at both ends of the spectrum and analyze both situations. So I feel like philosophy helped me because I took a philosophy class my freshman year and I didn't really like it. I think because it wasn't in my major. So I think if you take something that correlates to what you're studying, you'll really fall in love with it. Because as you can see, I took another bioethics class. So I think that I like it.
So do you think that it makes you more open-minded?
Yeah, definitely.
Suppositions a little bit?
Definitely have me more open-minded because it really makes you think a lot.
So, you know what philosophy is now, but a lot of people, they hear, just the word philosophy or that you're studying philosophy or whatever, and they don't really know what it is. What do you think is one of the misunderstandings that people have about what philosophy is?
Misunderstandings. I feel people who take philosophy don't really know what you're actually getting yourself into. I feel like a lot of them have poor reasoning and logic like me. So I feel like that could be a huge misunderstanding to me. Like they don't really know what they're getting into until they, step into the class and be like, okay, this is not as bad as I thought. A lot of people might be uninteresting. A lot of people think that. I know a lot of people, I was like, hey, you should take this medical ethics class. Like, no, I think it's kind of uninteresting. I'm like, are you sure? I really like that class. And they're like, okay. So some people, I can send a couple people to your class. But I think as far as misunderstanding, it's just, one, being uninterested, two, and not really knowing what you're getting yourself into. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that could be a huge misunderstanding of philosophy.
Do you think that a lot of people think that philosophy only talks about these really abstract, esoteric questions, the meaning, what is the meaning of life?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that draws a lot of people away from the class. I feel like if there's another way we can go about advertising our philosophy classes, would attract more students.
Yeah.
Because when you think of philosophy, it's like you said, the theory of life, or what we're doing is not really real. Like we're in the Matrix, stuff like that. So that threw me off. I think that's why I was like, philosophy. So you mean to tell me everything that I'm doing is not real right now? So that threw me off. But yeah, I think if we went about another way of advertising what the course offers or what the study of philosophy offers, then students will be more likely to want to be taking philosophy or degree in philosophy. So I think that could work.
Can you say something specifically about the skills of critical thinking that we teach in philosophy and how developing those skills has helped you?
Critical thinking, like said before, critical thinking skills are very poor. Taking philosophy class has helped me look at both sides, look at a couple examples, I guess, will be autonomy. Mere means. I didn't understand that, but now that I'm taking your courses, when I go about situations, I'm like, okay, let me think about this person's autonomy. Am I respecting them? Okay, let's think about harm here. Is non-maleficence violated? So I feel like that having that knowledge and having that type of terminology when you go about situations, not just medical, just anything, I feel like that really enhances your critical thinking skills. Because after taking the philosophy, my friend's like, you really analyze things now. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I don't think that's ethical. So, yeah, definitely. And it really determines if you're really a moral person or not. A lot of people say they're moral, but if you really think about it and sit down and think about it, I don't think this is a moral thing to do. Many of us aren't moral as far as we say we are. So I feel like critical thinking skills, having the terminology and using it in our everyday lives really enhances your critical thinking skills.
So I said something earlier about becoming more open-minded. Mm-hmm. One thing I always think about, in my career, academic career in philosophy, the farther I go and the more I learn, the more humble I become about how much I don't know. You know, the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. And so I was wondering if you think that that kind of intellectual humility is good, and what, you know, or what you might say about humility, intellectual humility.
What do you mean by intellectual humility?
Knowing how much you don't know. Being humble about how much more there is to learn. Not thinking that you already know everything.
Not like a cocky aspect. I feel like it's humbling, definitely. It's never too late to learn. You can always learn new things. I feel like being humble about that, it shows growth and maturity as well. So I feel like when it comes to human intellectual humility, you know, it has to do with growth and maturity, because we can always say, oh, we know this, but as like you said, as we go up in our stages of our lives, we don't know everything. So I feel like if you're open-minded to know everything, it shows that you're growing, and you're more open to better yourself as far as that. So I feel like it shows a lot of growth and maturity, because being able to think about things in an intellectual way shows that you're mature, for me personally. So.
Do you feel like you've
matured
a lot?
Definitely. Definitely. I feel like I definitely matured after taking a philosophy course.
Okay. A lot of influential business analysts are saying things like philosophy is one of the very best undergraduate majors for someone to pursue in college, because they tend to do very well in many diverse areas of business. In your opinion, is this true? Why or why not?
I would say it's the best undergraduate major, just because I'm a biology major, you know, I have to fit for my own. But I would definitely say, yeah, definitely, because it teaches you how to, like I said before, go about ways differently. It increases your logical reasoning as far as when you're in the world, you have to be able to logically go about situations, because you have a company that you're thinking for as well. So you can't just go basically off personal. So I feel like definitely I would say that it's the most diverse, and a lot of people should major in philosophy. I feel like if you can stick through it, if you're open-minded, if you're able to be humble and grow and learn, because philosophy class is a learning process. So if you're able to learn and take that into the next stages of your life, I feel like this is definitely a major that a lot of people should do. If not, major in philosophy, minor in it. It can't hurt. All it does is make you I think it made me a better writer as well. Made me a way better writer. So I feel like philosophy is definitely, I think, a great undergraduate degree.
You're a biology major.
Yes.
So how do you think that the study of philosophy complements what you're doing?
I feel like it complements me because although I'm a biology major, I'm trying to do pharmacy school. So I'm going to be in that field in clinical anyway. So I need to know the terminology is key. I feel like the terminology has helped me understand if somebody wants contraception pills and they're under the age, I have to be able to morally and ethically think, is this right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's how it correlates with my field.
You know, a lot of the philosophers that we study and rely on back to antiquity, Aristotle and Descartes and Leibniz, and so many of them were scientists, right, in various ways. I mean, Aristotle was sort of a biologist in his time anyway, 2,000 some years ago. Why do you think it is that so many philosophers are scientists? Why do you think that the sciences and the sciences and philosophy are the bedfellows that they are?
What can I say about that? I feel like when you're a scientist or philosopher, you think differently. I feel like to be a scientist, you have to have a different mindset. And I feel like being a scientist and being a philosopher correlates very well, because to perform procedures or experiments, you have to be able to logically and critically think about the outcomes and what you're doing for mankind. Because for these philosophers, really, like, they're thinking about the future, and that's what scientists are doing as well. You're thinking about the future. So I feel like that's how it correlates to me.
Say something about how you think they correlate in terms of problem solving.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So scientists, yeah.
Definitely. it does help with problem solving because, be a scientist, you have to be able to solve problems, philosopher as well. As far as like them, like it's being them helping with their problem solving skills or just in general.
So here's what I was thinking. You said something earlier about it's helped you with your writing, and I'm assuming part of that is like when you read something in philosophy, you have to pick out the most important parts. You have to pick out the reasons that support a particular claim or whatever. And it seems like in science, you're always looking for, the most reliable data, and you're always, so part of the way that these two interface is that you're being taught the skills of recognizing facts and data that are credible and good and rich from those that should be discarded. What do you think about that?
I like that. That does make sense. I do agree. Since taking a philosophy course, when I go about reading scholarly articles, I can decipher the most important parts of the paper. I feel like science and philosophy has those same quality traits in a way. Oh, that's really a tough question. That's really a tough question. I don't know how to answer it.
That's
a
okay.
Tough question.
You did great.
Thank you.
You really did. Yeah, you got that. You got that whole Hollywood thing going on. I'm pretty